You heard it here first. We are proud to now offer Radflow's full catalog here at Shock Surplus. And in honor of bringing on a brand new brand, we brought in their newest model line, the 500R Sport 2.0 Coilovers and Shocks, to test on our newest rig in the fleet, Jeff's brand spanking new 6th generation 4Runner. And this is only the beginning of us testing the full Radflow catalog and only the beginning of testing all the options that are available now or will be available for these 6th generation 4Runners. So stay tuned as we unbox these new Johns and break down all the most essential facts and features. As always, I'm Sean Bowman. This is the Shock Surplus Shop. So let's talk some shocks. For those of you who are new here to the Shock Surplus party, we like to test everything we carry on our own vehicles so we can provide real-world feedback to help you guys figure out what option is best for you. We make the mistakes so you don't have to, and before we can recommend anything to anybody, we got to get some serious seat time so we can speak from experience and not marketing BS and hearsay. So with a brand new brand under our belt, with a brand new model line that happens to fit the newest rig in our fleet, it was time to get off the pot, pop some seals on some boxes, put on our testing caps, and brother, we're real excited. So let's talk about who the heck Radflow is and what these 500R Sport 2.0 coilovers are all about. Although Radflow might be a new name to a lot of our viewers out there, they're far from a new name to the suspension game. They've been around since the 80s, starting off in South Africa and eventually getting into making dampers for industrial equipment and military spec applications. This made them really flexible in being able to make custom tuned, custom length, and custom fitment damper options from coilovers, shocks, bypasses, you name it. It really makes them a super solid alternative to brands like Fox or King because they make it so easy to get something super custom spec for your super weird build. Also means they're a lot faster to produce off-the-shelf options for tons of vehicles, and in fact, they really make more shocks for more applications than most other brands. So whether you have something super weird based on the way you're using it, the way you've built it, or just by production numbers alone, Radflow likely has a super high performing alternative that might just bolt up super easily onto your vehicle, which makes them a brand we're super excited to start offering you guys. Now, Radflow is definitely most known for their shocks for buggies, mud trucks, rock bouncers, crawlers, pre-runners, other custom stuff, but the reality is most people are looking for a mild upgrade and a mild lift for their daily driver, which is why we think these 500Rs are really going to be a game changer, shake the industry up a little bit. Now, unlike their old 2.0s, their regular 2.0s, it seems like these are really optimized for more street performance, more daily driver performance, more light off-road duty, and you can see that a lot from the parts and components. As the name implies, 2.0 means they're a 2-inch diameter body shock and coilover package. They are available with and without reservoirs. We went without reservoirs because we think that's the way most of you guys are going to go. Unlike a lot of their other coilovers and shocks, where applicable, they use these OE-style natural rubber bushings, and they even take the time to put an insulator between the top hat and the spring seat. All in all, this is going to make for a shock and coilover package that absorbs more noise, vibration, and harshness than a lot of more true body coilovers and racier shocks. And also, those rubber and OE-style bushings definitely last longer as well. That OEM plus and daily driver performance type mentality seems to also have made it to the seals. Doesn't seem like they're using the same seal pack as they use on their other coilovers and shocks. This one seems to be more focused on longevity and low maintenance rather than heat management and durability. So these should theoretically be longer lasting than most of their other coilovers and shocks, while also being just as easily serviceable. Now, we'll have to see how long they really last, but if they make it 60 to 70,000 miles and are as easy to rebuild as other Radflow shocks, I think these are going to be really, really, really good options. Now, where they do differ from pretty much anything else on the market, at least at this price point, is that they have a secondary piston for progressive support on rebound, similar to the Fox 2.5 HTOs and Omi MT64s, which basically softens the blow on harsh top outs. And I think it's going to be a really big benefit on these shocks. Now, we went with the 0 to 2 inch front coilovers since they are probably what most people are going to be looking for when they're looking at these 500R 2.0s. And those are going to work with all other stock components, including control arms. You're not even going to need a diff drop. Because of that, they are a little bit limited on travel, and when set up for the 2-inch lift that we're probably going to do, would normally be prone to some harsh top outs, or at least being a little rough on rebound. That progressive support at the end of the stroke is definitely going to be a big benefit here for those situations, and probably are going to make it a lot more livable than a lot of the other things at this space that are built around the same constraints as these. Now, that doesn't mean this is your only option. In fact, they offer both the IFPs and the reservoir coilovers in a 0 to 2.5 inch lift length for vehicles that already have aftermarket upper control arms, so you get that little bit of extra travel. Now in the rear, we went with the 0 to 2 inch shocks as well, because once again, we think that is what most of you guys are going to be running. And so you'll be able to run them with the stock rear springs or up to a 2-inch lift spring, which most of the springs within the range on these 4Runners are a 1, 1.5, or 2-inch lift spring, so that gives you a lot of options. But once again, for you guys who want that little bit of extra travel, they do have a shock that is spec'd specifically for 2 inches of lift in the rear, has a little bit more stroke. Now, as I mentioned, these are also available with reservoirs front and rear. We'll have to see if that really makes all that much of a difference on the front on 2.0 shocks, because we oftentimes find that it's a lack of damping force and not a lack of heat dissipation that is an issue. But I think for the intended use of these shocks, if you're going to be driving down a fire road for 4 or 5 hours, it's washboardy, it's rough, but you're not really carrying a lot of speed or hitting a lot of big bumps, those might be beneficial. But I think you guys will probably agree this is what your kits are going to look like. Radflo uses fairly high flow linear pistons, which gives them a lot of flexibility in terms of optimizing valving. And because it seems like they're set up for more daily driver comfort and that little bit of extra composure, we're expecting them to be pretty plush out there on the street and give you just that little bit of extra support out on the trails when you need it, when you're just trying to get to your campsite or whatever fun stuff you're getting into. But these are all things we're going to be testing out soon, so make sure you're locked in on our feed and you're keeping up with everything we're doing. On the next episode, you're going to see us bolt these on. We're going to give you all the instructions, all the steps, all the torque specs, all the fun stuff, so you know exactly how to throw these on yourself. We're also going to be testing things like travel, out of the box ride height, adjustment range, tire clearance, all that fun stuff. So there's still a lot more to learn. And then after that, of course, we're taking them out to the normal testing grounds. We're going to run them through their paces and see just how good they are. So if you haven't already, hit like, hit that bell icon, make sure you're subscribed so you're notified of all the fun stuff we're getting into in the next episode of this Radflo series. Now, like I said, this is only the first thing we're testing on this 4Runner. This is only the first Radflo set we're testing on a vehicle, so there's a lot more coming soon. And if there's something specifically you're looking to see on a 4Runner, anything else, Radflos or otherwise, make sure to leave us a comment below. And if you're interested in these Radflos for your 4Runner, for anything else, or anything for anything, hop on shocksurplus.com. We'd be happy to get you dialed in. And in the meantime, brother, we'll see you out on the trails.